Hello and welcome to this week's video. My name is Triza Akuka from Pinnacle Executive Coaching. I'm the lead coach, and this week's video is about the disciplined mind. Welcome. So, discipline is really not an option in our life. It is needful in every aspect of our lives. If you want any kind of meaningful success, you need to be disciplined in your relationships, in your health, in your emotional and personal development, in business and work. Even in corporate circles, of course, we need discipline. Discipline is an active verb. It is something you actually do. It is the ability to do the things you would rather avoid. It's the ability to be committed no matter how inconvenient or uncomfortable. It is the ability to stick to a course of action even if you're busy and you don't feel like. It is the long-lasting patience in relationships. It is the ability to stick to principle no matter what push comes your way. So, what would you lose if you're not disciplined? You would actually lose quite a lot. You would lose time, you would lose money, you would lose quality of life, you would lose personal focus and integrity, you would lose control over your emotions, you would lose tenacity, you would lose perseverance, and it can cost you greatly. What are the key mindsets for building discipline? Discipline is like a mental muscle. You need to stress it. You need to challenge it. You need to put pressure on it, because if you don't, you will give in to the whims of discipline and of your natural tendency, which is to avoid. And the natural tendency is to avoid the things that you would want to do in order to be successful. But let me tell you, the more you run away, the weaker you become. You need to be able to lose fear, because fear is one of the crippling things that makes leaders fail the discipline test. You need to stop viewing the things that you need to do as hassles, which you hate, but you need to transform them in your mind as something good to do, something needful to do, something important to do. Because guess what? The more you give in to indiscipline, to avoidance, the harder the task becomes, and then it becomes an impossibility almost to achieve it. But guess what? The more things you do, the better you become. The more you do something, the less intimidating it becomes. And the more you do it, the more routine it becomes. And then you can be able to master that process. Once you master the process, you will be able to connect dots. You can be able to see patterns. You can be able to know when something is not going to work very fast, and you can be able to avoid failures. And it will save you massively on time. It will make you to gain in terms of productivity. It will make you to gain in terms of time, valuable time, which is actually money in another way. So the more you do something, the less intimidating. Give an example. Let's say you're a salesperson. You need to go out and meet several clients in a day. Reaching out is so intimidating the first time, but guess what? The more you do it, the more people you talk to, the easier you find it, and the more routine it becomes once you start mastering it. And once you master it, you build confidence. So competence will produce confidence in you, and that confidence will lead to mastery of the process. That mastery will give you greater confidence. So it's a growing loop. You get confidence, you avoid the fear, you take the first step. Once you do it, you start seeing, it's less intimidating. The small things that you need to learn about the process. You become a master. Once you become a master, you're so confident doing it. And then you build your competence levels. And then you build your confidence to a higher level. And once you do that, you get momentum. So just start. Once you start, you'll gain momentum. Momentum will help you to keep trying, to keep pushing, to build that routine, to identify any loopholes that could be there and avoid them, and then build a culture. In Pinnacle Executive Coaching, our mission is to influence personal and corporate cultures. And we say culture comes from the daily habits. Your daily habits, your daily tasks form your habits eventually form your character, and this builds a culture around you. So if you can be able to build discipline as a culture, you will be so successful. You will be able to impact many people. So what are some of the tools that you can use to be able to achieve this? First is just being able to meet deadlines. Meeting deadlines look so easy, so straightforward, but imagine the truth is so many people fail to meet deadlines, and that's why corporations have turnaround timelines just put in place in order to communicate to the employees or business owners, this is what we need to do. We need to achieve this at this timeline. And we also communicate the same to our clients. But it becomes so hard to be able to actually meet deadlines in a very simple way. So this is something that you need to be able to build the character to be able to manage it. Because if you can just be able to manage something as simple as meeting deadlines, you are known to be reliable, you are known to be trustworthy, and money will now follow you because you can be able to deliver what you put your mind to do. You can be able to put in the work. Putting in work means actually putting your hands down, getting them dirty, the processes that you need to accomplish. You don't just put a nice plan, put it on the wall, this is our corporate mission, this is our strategy, and then you sit and look at it. You have to discipline yourself to actually putting in the work to be able to accomplish that in order to become successful. And then you have to commit to more work. Always doing extra will help you build that discipline and culture of always doing extra. This is what now we simply say under promising and over delivering. Because if you're able to put in that extra work, it helps you a great deal. It makes you be able to achieve the bare minimum you set out to. For instance, if you're in a manufacturing process and you want to produce 10 containers, you cannot put in materials for 10 containers. If you put in materials for 10 containers, you will get less in the long run. And if you get less in the long run, you will not be able to achieve that success that you wish for. So you will fail. You need to be able to build that discipline to be able to put in more work so that you can get the bare minimum that you need. You need to commit to hitting quality guidelines, which means excellence, basically. Put in excellence in everything that you need to do, and then you'll be able to achieve success. You need to identify the times that you wish to quit, and then learn to counteract them, learn to wait them out. Guess what? The body will always want a breather. It will always want to pull out of any stressful kind of situation, any kind of pressure. And that's why we naturally have breaks. In a normal course of day, you'll have a tea break, you'll have a lunch break, you'll have an evening break to log off from work. But in addition to that, your body will always send messages that it wants to get more break time. So what you need to do is check that you don't fall into that trap of quitting when that signal comes, but rather learn how to counteract it, learn how to wait it out, and then you'll be able to achieve success. Then you need to be able to track and monitor so you can know how you're going towards your success. Journal your progress. It's a very effective way proven to monitor what you've done and where you are and where you're going. You need to be able to build greater self-control. You need to be able to learn to fail systematically till it becomes second nature. Why we are saying you need to learn to fail systematically is because you can never be a master without a form of failure along the way. When you are starting to do something, you will not do it perfectly, but use those opportunities as learning opportunities rather as stalling blocks. So when you fail, you learn how not to do it that way so that you don't get into that block the next time, until it becomes second nature that you're doing things with excellence and you're achieving that success that you need. So as a final tidbit, the mind is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets, and the more it can expand. This is a quote by Idowu Koyenikan, and I leave it as food for thought for you. Please think about it. How can you discipline your mind? How can you exercise it to become more disciplined? And you will achieve great success. So I believe these have been great tips for you this week. please reach out, like the video, share it, and come back to me. Tell me, what tip have you picked from this that will help you to become a better leader? Thank you so much, and see you next week. Bye.